Hey everyone, hope you're doing great, and I'm thrilled to have you back for this new breakdown. When the sun dips below the horizon, there's a suspended moment where earthly light hesitates before fading into the cosmos. It's precisely at this pivotal hour, twilight, that Tony Ward chooses to place us for his Spring-Summer 2025 Haute Couture collection. Forget classic runway shows. Today we're plunging into the heart of an ethereal realm where the geometric sharpness of the Palais de Chaillot becomes the stage for a waking dream, throwing a masterful bridge between the almost mathematical precision of fashion sketching and the pure poetry of the stars. Under the arches of the Palais de Chaillot, the atmosphere shifts into chiaroscuro. Low, grazing lights mimic the day's final glow. A shiver runs through the room. The floor seems to reflect a rising night. It's a master painting in motion, where pastel hues clash with softened metallic flashes. You can feel a strange energy, both serene and intensely dynamic. A dramatic tension sets in, as if time has stopped just before the first stars appear. To understand this collection, you have to see the garment as a filter placed between heaven and earth. Tony Ward isn't just looking to dress the body, he wants to materialize the movement of constellations. His ambitious approach lies in translating highly structured, almost architectural sketches into living, impalpable volumes. The common thread is this idea of a nocturnal rebirth, using the traditional know-how of couture to give body to an invisible world that only comes alive once night falls. On the runway, the posture is imperial, almost surreal. The models walk with an inhabited, deliberate pace, carrying silhouettes that seem to float inches off the ground, evoking modern mythological figures. The standout element completely redefining the frame this season is the asymmetric work on collars and necklines. They rise like arrowheads or star fragments, structuring the posture with a fascinating authority. You notice a fascinating geometric complexity on the bodices that defies gravity. The eye is instantly caught by the fluidity, but the magic happens in the manufacturing secrets. Beneath the lightweight drapes lies an invisible piece of textile engineering, rigid internal structures and massed microboning support waves of silk organza sculpted in 3D. This contrast between hidden structure and surface lightness gives the illusion that the fabric is sculpting the air entirely on its own. The color palette is a living transition, a gradient of a radiant twilight. We move from deep blues to powdery pinks and soft gold gleams. But it's the clash of materials that delivers this organic feel. The garment feels as though it has already lived several lives. Thousands of yards of pleated foil fabric catch the light like moving water, while handmade raffia threads bring a raw, almost telluric texture that grounds the Duchesse satin and house jacquard into reality. When you zoom in on the pieces, the vastness of the sky gives way to the infinitely small. It's the work of a true beehive where the petites mains have achieved absolute craftsmanship. You discover mountains of stones and crystals embroidered one by one, shimmering at the model's slightest movement. These constellations of rhinestones aren't just there for decoration. They trace intimate lines of power on the body, transforming each embroidery into a personal celestial map. The show is built like a thermal acceleration. We start with the softness of the evening's early moments, featuring evanescent tints and fluid lines. Then the rhythm densifies, the silhouettes grow heavier with Baroque embroideries, becoming increasingly flamboyant. The climax is reached during the finale with a monumental bridal gown, a true masterpiece of volume where 3D organza and metallic reflections fuse, materializing the definitive transition from twilight to dawn. So of course we have to ask the question, faced with such a display of extravagant craftsmanship and ultra-processed textures, where exactly is the line between fashion and pure exhibition sculpture? These evening queen gowns, with their rigid foil drapes and 3D volumes, impose a sacrificial posture. Stunning for a red carpet or palace steps, they definitely raise questions about the real freedom of movement for the women wearing them beyond a photographic pose. At its core, what we take away from this vision is Tony Ward's ability to reinvent grand evening wear without compromising his house's DNA. This collection marks an obvious stage of maturity. The designer proves that haute couture can still be a vehicle for pure poetry by connecting the age-old expertise of his ateliers with bold visual innovation techniques. It's the perfect demonstration that the ordinary can give life to the extraordinary. I'd be curious to get your take on one specific detail. What did you think of the use of handmade raffia right in the middle of all those waves of silk and crystals? Does this raw contrast bring the necessary touch of modernity, or does it break the fairy tale dimension of the show? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for sharing this moment with me. To go further and sharpen your eye on these collections, always try during your next viewings to spot where the structure hides beneath the fabric. That's usually where a coutureur's true genius lies. See you very soon for a new breakdown.